Thank you so much for asking. I thought it would be easier to just make a video response to this instead of typing it out in the comments because there's a character limit in the comments, and that's annoying. So you basically would just replace he, as you would refer to me as he, because that's also one of my pronouns, with the whole word void. So, have you seen Void? Void is on Void's way. I don't know. And then the last one is Void Self. I don't have a sentence for it because I am very tired. But yeah, just Void, Void, and Void Self instead of like he, him, his, himself. Void, 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 Void Self. Thanks.
Yeah, I think the pronouns are really confusing.
Yes, I don't even know what a pronoun is.
I'll tell you what, I find it funny.
Funny how? I mean, what's funny about it?
It's funny when these people, like the one we just heard from, confuse themselves and start stumbling and bumbling over their own made-up words. And can I just state the obvious about that person? The vast majority of them look like human pincushions. I mean, is it a requirement for entry into the pronoun club to look like you're at the losing end of a BB gun fight? Anyway, welcome back. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I have a pretty crazy Clown World update for you guys today, and with absolutely no time to waste, let's get into it now. Now, if you place your attention on the screen for a moment, meet Susan. Now, Susan is a biological male who identifies as a trans woman, calls himself a lesbian, and I'm assuming uses the ladies' restroom.
He looks like a f***ing loser.
Now, I know what some of you are thinking. You're thinking, Mike, what the f*** are you even talking about? How can Susan or Conehead or whatever his name is, how can he possibly be a lesbian? Well, I'm glad you asked, and this person here is about to give you your answer. Roll the film, please.
I'm going to simplify this as much as I can. Some lesbians have buzz cuts. Some lesbians have beards. Some lesbians use he, him pronouns. Some lesbians bind. Some lesbians get top surgery. Some lesbians take HRT. Some lesbians have bulges. Some lesbians tuck. Some lesbians do drag. Some lesbians don't have a genital preference. As long as they say so, they're still a lesbian.
Don't give me that liberal bull.
All right, next up, we are going to hear a short snippet from Howard Stern's radio show where he talks about how proud he is to be woke. Now, Howard Stern's been in the news a lot lately because, well, he bent the knee. Now, Howard Stern is the original shock jock, and he always used to break all the rules. However, now he all over comedians like Joe Rogan and parrots the talking points of the establishment in Big Pharma. He also has a severe case of TDS, also known as Trump derangement syndrome. Roll it.
By the way, I kind of take that as a compliment that I'm woke. I'll tell you how I feel about it. To me, the opposite of woke is being asleep. And if woke means I can't get behind Trump, which is what I think it means.
You know what woke means? It means you're a loser.
Or that I support people who want to be transgender, or I'm for the vaccine. Well, dude, call me woke as you fucking want. I'm not for stupidity. You know, I ran out Friday morning. I was over at CVS. Thank you, CVS. I went over there 9 a.m. and got myself that new vaccine for COVID.
No offense, but you are a stupid asshole.
So there you have it. Howard Stern is a complete sellout, saying whatever he has to say to keep that money train rolling. And it's sad, really. Anyway, next up. So here we have a clip from The Daily Show with Trevor Noah. Now, this segment is actually a year old. I don't know how I missed it last year, but it's a 13.5-minute clip. We're just going to listen to a few minutes of it. And here his guest is a person named Veronica Ivy. Now, Veronica is a biological man who identifies as a trans woman, and they are discussing trans women in sports, so biological men playing in women's sports. Roll the film, please.
Talk me through just a little bit of why you believe fighting for transgender athletes to compete in the categories they'd like to in sport is so important.
So it's a fundamental tenet of like the Olympic movement that sport is a human right. So in their Olympic charter, in their fourth fundamental principle of Olympism, they say participation in sport is a human right, and they mean that at the competitive level. So this issue, people like to say that it's a complicated issue, and I don't actually think it is. I think it's very simple. It all boils down to, do you actually think that trans women and intersex women are real women?
No. No, man. No, man.
And if you do, it's very simple. Just stop policing who counts as a real woman, because this has had history of racism built into it over the years. It's not an accident that the intersex athletes who get singled out are women of color from the global south, because who gets singled out for scrutiny is based on white women's conceptions of femininity. And that's being weaponized against trans people too. So it's a fear of protecting the fragile, weak, cis white woman from the rest of us.
What the f are you talking about, man?
One thing that confuses me personally is it seems like we have discussions about who should participate in which category and how. You know, on the face of it, it seems simple, as you say. You know, if somebody identifies as a woman, if they're transgender, they can compete against women who are born biologically, and then if not, then not. But then there are many who would argue, who are not transphobes. There are many who born biologically women who will say, but you have an unnatural advantage over me, and that makes the sport unfair. How do you respond to that?
Yeah, there's lots of ways you can respond to that. So the first is the very language of you were born and I'm not biological somehow, like I don't think I'm a cyborg. So like this idea that like, oh, you're not a biological woman. Well, I am a woman, that's a fact. I am female, so all my identity records, my racing license, my medical records all say female, right? And I'm pretty sure I made a biological stuff, so I'm a biological female as well.
Wrong again, idiot.
So this question of, do trans women have an advantage over cis women? We don't know.
Bullshit. Total f***ing bullshit.
So there you have it, and I do apologize. That clip went on a little longer than I had hoped, but I think the parts that we did hear from that segment were very important. For example, notice the language. That person said, I am a biological female. That person also said, we don't know if trans women have an advantage over women in sports. Yes, we do know. However, that's what they do. They put this stuff out on the mainstream channels, like The Daily Show with Trevor Noah, so that way when it comes full circle and a person named Leah Thomas jumps in a swimming pool and blows the rest of the girls out the water, it's not a complete shock to the system of the normies watching it. Anyway, next up, so when people start talking like this bearded fella, it makes my spidey senses start to tingle. Like, why are you that focused on children's rights, sir? The comment says, it's not anti-trans, it's for the parental rights. They're our kids. Roll the film.
No such thing as parental rights. It's not recognized in law. It's not in the charter. It doesn't exist. Children's rights, however, are recognized and have been for a very long time. Parents have responsibility, which is recognized in the law, but no rights. If your child does not want to tell you something about them, that's your problem, not the government's, not the school system's. Maybe you should ask yourself why your child might not want to tell you whatever it is your conspiracy brain thinks that they should have to.
Are you a sicko? What is this?
Alright, real quick, before we go any further, I want to give a huge shout out to the sponsors of today's video, and while I'm doing that, I'm going to let this loop on the screen. Now, this person has had so much plastic surgery and implants and injections in her face that when she tries to blow a kiss, her lips barely even move. Right there. Wow. Anyway, today's video is being brought to us by two great friends of the channel who have been here since almost the very beginning, the Boltonator and Heather Hatch. Thank you guys so much. I'm very grateful you guys are still around watching and enjoying the videos, and I truly appreciate all the continued love and support. So, Boltonator and Heather Hatch are today's sponsors. Now, if you'd like to sponsor the next video and help support the channel, there is a PayPal link in the description box below, and I will say your full name as a sponsor of said video unless stated otherwise by you. Please get this off the screen. Oof.
You look ridiculous.
All right, next up. Now, I'm sure most of you remember the person who identifies as Horace the Red-Tailed Hawk, right? Well, see, that person is part of a DID system, so it's not always Horace talking to us. This time, it's going to be Mantis, they, them, who's talking to us. Now, we all have heard of pronouns, and then we've heard of neopronouns. Well, they're adding a new one for us. Auxiliary pronouns, so get your notebooks out. Roll it.
Here are some examples of people in our system who use neopronouns but also have a set of auxiliary pronouns that people can use if they don't understand the neopronouns, don't know how to use them, or if they just don't like the concept of neopronouns in general. First example that's been getting a lot of attention recently is Pastel. Pastel uses paints neopronouns, but they also use they, them pronouns. Another example is Magpie, who's gotten a lot of negative attention in the past for its pronouns. Magpie uses it, bug, dirt, they pronouns. Bug and dirt are neopronouns. It is sometimes considered a neopronoun, but they is a normal pronoun. Another example is Sparrow. Sparrow uses trill, chirp, she. Trill and chirp are neopronouns. She, her is a normal pronoun. And this is the case for everyone in our system who uses neopronouns. Anyone in our system who has a set of neopronouns also has a set of normal pronouns. Because like we've said before, we understand that neopronouns can be hard to understand, difficult to use. And also, if you don't like them, you can just use the normal pronouns.
What the f*** is wrong with you?
Alright guys, we're going to be wrapping it up with this one because I can't take anymore. A person can only take so much of this in one day, and I've reached my limit. That's it. I'm done. But don't worry, we'll come back and hit him hard again tomorrow. Anyway, so we're going to be wrapping it up with this clip of these two young ladies suntanning on the beach looking for someone to play mermaids with them, I suppose. Anyway, guys, things are clearly getting crazy out there, so please take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Till next time. Love you guys. Peace. Roll it.
Hi, Fat Girls here on the beach. We live here now. We own this beach. Want to play mermaids with us?
Oh, hell no! A few moments later.
I want to be where the fat people are. I want to see them existing. I'm sorry, us literally doing nothing is really offensive to you. It's kind of weird.
Go on a diet, you fat.
And you ain't black.